Good morning, Rockets. Hope everyone is doing well. This is your 7th lesson in math. We hope to see you real soon. Hope you've had a great break and that you're outside and you're doing things and are ready to get back to work a little bit. So today's lesson is on plotting data. So what I need you to get out for me is your student book, which is yellow. Remember, I don't have your student book, but my pages are yellow. And I need you to turn to page 236. I'll wait a minute for you. Good, are you there? So we're going to use this graph today to help figure out how to do plotting data. We're going to do one together, and then you're going to finish filling in the chart, and then you're going to use the chart on page 236 to do the rest of your pages in your student book for today's lesson. Lesson might be a little long today. I apologize. We'll get through it as quick as we can, but I want to make sure that you understand it. So if you would please look at the right column and come down and find Heather. What we're trying to figure out is how long Heather was in the swimming pool. Now, if you will see, it says Heather started at 2:45. So I'm going to write 2:45. And it says that she got out of the pool at 5 o'clock. Well, now how am I going to figure out how much time that is that she was in the pool? What if I decide to do a number line? So here's my number line. I'm going to start at 2:45. I like to get to a friendly number. That's just how I am as a person. So I'm hoping that that's easy for you. If you've already figured this out, awesome. You can fill it in. But before you fill it in, I want you to listen to the rest of my lesson because I might throw a curveball in there that I want you to not miss when I throw that in. So I'm going to jump from 2:45 to 3 o'clock. And I know that that's 15 minutes. Agreed? Because we're all in time. Remember, there are 60 minutes in an hour. And then I'm going to go from 3 to 4 o'clock, and I'm going to make that 1 hour. And then my time that I'm done is 5 o'clock, and that's another hour. So I know that Heather was in the pool for 1 hour, 2 hours, so 2 hours and 15 minutes. All right. Well, I can't just write 2 hours and 15 minutes in there or 2.15 because I'm looking at my chart. Everything is in fractions. How am I going to make this a fraction? Mrs. Wilkebush, I am so glad you asked us. Here is how we're going to think about this. So I have a handy dandy clock here. Don't mind me with my little contraptions. I have a clock right there. I hope you can all see it. I divided it into 15-minute increments because we're talking 15 minutes, correct? So if I look at this like a total, I'm looking at it at two ways. If I have, she was in there for 15 minutes, so this whole part up here is colored in. How much is colored? Well, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. So I have how many parts colored? 1/4. So in the case of Heather, I am going to write 2 1/4. That was the kicker one that I wanted to make sure that you all saw what I did. So when you're figuring out your fractions, you have to make sure that you are using the clock and that everything is out of 60 because remember there are 60 minutes in an hour. Okay, so we know that if it's 30 minutes, we could do 30 minutes out of 60 and that would get me a half an hour. If I had 15 minutes out of 60, we knew that that was 1/4 of an hour. Okay, so help me out. So what if I have 45 minutes out of an hour? What would that get me? Think about my clock. How many parts would that be? So 45 minutes. So this is 15, 15, and 15. what would my fraction be? Did you get it? Yay, good for you. Oops, my 3 looks weird there. 3/4. 3/4. So look, I've got your 3 fractions that you're going to use when you are finishing filling in your chart. Now, the whole purpose of all of this is that we are going to do something that's called a plot diagram. Remember, if you ever need to go back and pause the video from where I was, feel free to do that, and then you can stop right there with what you need to work on. So the reason that we're doing this today is we are going to work on a line plot. And this is what's going to continue on your next page of your student book, page 237. So a line plot is where you're going to take all of the information, the data that you've gathered from the last year's swimming pool times, and you're going to plot it on here. So let me give you the definition. It's a horizontal number line that uses markings, such as an X or a dot, to show data points above the values of the line. So if you look at my example here, which it's kind of hard to see, I'm kind of sorry, it shows on the bottom the number of books read this month. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So their number of books that was read, where the most was 9. Number of students who read that. So on my line plot with my data, I see that 1, 2, 3, 4 students read 1 book. So you're going to have multiple X's on there. You're going to use this example to finish filling using, let me back up. You're going to use the data from your page 236 from the swimming times, and you're going to use it to fill in your new page 237. Now, here's what you have to do. This is kind of the tricky part. So they started plotting some of the data for you with X's. You have to figure out which one was used already, and you have to plot all of these. So you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 times 2 columns. You should have 24 X's on your line plot when you are done with this activity, okay? So double check yourself. If you have to go back, use a strategy that will work for you. So if you see that they already have 2 3/4, you could cross off the whatever strategy that works. I would cross them off on the thing here, or put a dot so that you know that you've used them and that you've plotted everything correctly. Because the reason is you have to plot this information correctly, because then you have to finish doing question 3 on the bottom there. Okay? So just a reminder, your pages are 236, 237, and then the last page, 238, that one is kind of a reminder of factors and multiples. Remember those factor rainbows that you used to help you get finding the factors and the multiples for those numbers. Okay? So your assignment today is student book, pages 236 to 238. And then you also have in your home connections, that's the pink. Remember, I don't have a pink book, but there's my pink. You are doing pages 123 and 124. It's more graphing for you. Plotting of data is what we're learning how to do. And this is a really good thing that we can use, because then you can figure out in real life how many times people jump rope at your house in an hour, or how many times you say the word gotcha in your house in an hour. So it's just kind of a fun way to do activities. And guess what? You can maybe do this, figure out something that you are curious about and you want to do, plotting some data. So collect the data. How many times does your sister annoy you in an hour? How many times does your little brother jump on you and say, I want to play, I want to play? And then you can plot the data. Just an extra activity, not an assignment, just something kind of fun to do that you can see real life experiences. So I hope you're doing well. We miss you here at Riverside. We will see you very soon. And again, if you have any questions about the math activities, feel free to email your teachers. And as a reminder that you do need to, when you're done with these pages, take a picture and put those onto your Google Slides and then share that with your classroom teacher so we can see what your work is. Again, make sure that you are checking in with those classroom teachers. We want to make sure that you are safe and that you're healthy. And we hope to see you very soon. When you're watching the video, if there's any time that you are confused, please go back and rewind. Please send an email to your classroom teachers and say, I just don't quite get that, and we will help walk you through it because we want you to have success when you're doing your math as well. So this is Mrs. Wilkenbush signing off, and I hope you're doing well. See you soon, Rockets.